Welcome back, everybody, to Sanity Lost. I was about to say something else, but then my brain remembered it ain't time for that. It's time for Q&A.
We didn't even get to know what the pivot was going to be, because...
I pivoted in my mind. I also remembered that I did not share the computer audio.
Mm-hmm.
So here, I'll just save my fun theoretical topic for later.
We'll
I also
later
can remember...
anyway.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
They do now.
I was going to say, we just showed our hand.
Yeah, that's pretty much what these like little thing is. It's like, Itisdpayne, can you tell us how you cheated? Sure.
Well, at least now you're admitting that you're cheating.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we already knew that.
Every DM cheats.
Yeah.
Is it just, the question is it cheating in our favor?
Hey, I saved a couple TPKs. Not for the Last Shadows game. I finally got my first TPK.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, the big time. But that's a completely different game.
Yeah. I just want to say before we get into our question time, just enjoy looking at this little map that we see here. I added a little bit more.
Ooh.
Because for anybody that watches me run games,
Oh yes.
you know what needs to be added.
We have all the bloods.
I was gonna say.
Yes.
I should probably take a screenshot of this, so I don't think we ever shared it out.
Did we include any of the video in the earlier
Nope.
episodes with it? I know I
Nope.
recorded some of them, but
Yeah, it's one of those things I was saying about trying to do it for this next chapter coming up, but I'm like, I kind of like the theater of the mind. Like,
well, it's also
I give you guys a little, like, pretty much. There's some things that I'm collecting to help you guys kind of envision, because it is like real locations.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also don't feel like editing another camera source.
well. So what you could potentially do is for some of the ones where like the town layout might help with visuals, you could always just put a clip of that on the screen somewhere for a period of time, and as we're talking about, hey, we're going down Main Street, and here's where Main Street is, and
the problem is all those episodes are already edited now, and I'm not re-editing them.
granted, I'm not saying we need to go back and retcon the entire series for that.
That's good. I'm also do not like the break in this song, so let's go to this one. I don't know if it's going to be a bigger pause, but the pause distracts me in the beginning until we get into the meat of the episode. I also can't remember, because I reorganized all the music, which one was the
Oh,
little,
no.
this one. So,
That's your problem.
yeah. Oh, well. So,
I don't know, it makes me think it's or Cowboy Bebop is starting up.
3, 2, 1, go. I tried watching that. I couldn't get into
Yeah, that
it.
doesn't seem like it'd be your jam.
I like the intro.
Yeah, the music to it
And
is
I like the spaceship. That, and then like I like the concepts. I just didn't like watching it.
Are you so did you try and watch the anime or the live action one?
The anime.
Yeah. I will say the anime also kind of gets, it's a little slow to start. Like, I watched it recently and it feels a little disjointed until like the overarching story kind of comes in, but it is a little hard to get into.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. It is what it is, but it's like,
Yep.
I have a hard time getting into TV shows in general. So I have a hard time watching media, anything.
I feel you.
Except
I feel
Except
like
next year, I'm gonna be watching like 24 films.
I know. I feel like you do set yourself up. Like if watching media is really hard, you have so much content that is around you watching media.
The most, like, a lot of the stuff is
Play to your strengths.
it's for the podcast. And
I
so
know.
it's like, for me, it's like it's homework. Also, this next thing coming up, because it's like a little plug for next year for the podcast, is Pointless Discourse, the one that me and my other friend run.
Yeah.
It makes it sound like I only have like you three and one other friend.
That's it.
Anyway.
That's it.
It sucks to be them. Anyway. But like we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do next for next year, and then it was like 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, I know it's this late. Sorry, you guys don't get the full crazy. This one does, because I feel sorry for Hop sometimes,
We
but
don't
she's a
get
good
the
sport.
2 in the morning crazy.
You don't get the 2 in the morning thing because it's like a lot of this stuff is set, and the crazy happens while I'm at work, and I can just write it down, and I can't tell you guys anyway. But with her, I gotta like plan this stuff, and I'm just like, hey, thought, ignore this. I just gotta get out my brain so it will shut up and I can go back to bed. It's like next year is 2024. We said that we wanted to watch A24 films. We should do
Oh god.
24 A24 films for 2024.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, I'm going back to bed. And then her only response, I was like, you can ignore this. And then I woke up like, or next time I looked at Discord, she was like, you know, it sounds like a good idea. And so,
I mean, sometimes those 2 a.m. thoughts are like stroke of genius, best type of thoughts.
I don't know. Not 3 a.m. That's when the bread dream happened. But anyway.
It's a fine line. You've got just a little bit of
2 o'clock-
leeway
2
between
o'clock,
genius
okay.
and flat out crazy.
2:30 borderline.
Yeah.
3 o'clock
Look,
straight
my
out.
God.
some people, the more and more I think people learn about me, it's like, yeah, there is the witching hour, but then it's just all hours are the Itisdpayne hour, which it's like the Twilight Zone mixed with insanity. It's like psychologists hate him because it takes too much time. Anyway,
You're funny.
yeah, so okay, so that was a fun bant that I wasn't planning on having. So
Surprise.
yeah, those are the best bands. It's the one that also Elizabeth's like, why aren't you recording when we're just like sitting here talking? I'm like, oh,
Who says we aren't?
that's us
The
time.
best content.
Yeah, sometimes they can't be shared. But anyway,
I mean, yes.
what's your questions that I can or cannot answer?
I feel like I am hoping that, not that I have a specific question, but I don't know how many loose ends you can actually tie up now that we're done with these characters. Like, it feels like we're taking a shift into a new dimension of the story, right? Like, at least that's how, is that accurate? Actually, that's my
Yeah,
first question.
like every time like I think back, the only regret that I have is not saying end of Act 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
okay.
it is a shift. Like
Yeah.
the 60s era was always going to be a shift.
So,
And so
you know, it's not too late to
Yeah.
have that end of Act 1 as the tail
Yeah.
part of the video.
Yeah.
true. I haven't actually edited the last
See?
part.
There you go.
I'm not going to do it though.
Well, we can just officially right now say
Wow.
end of Act 1, right? Like, isn't that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
one thing I am curious about is if there were any other potential drivers to get us to go down into the underground area to encounter the monster in the tunnels, or if it would just maybe have popped up out somewhere more or less randomly if we hadn't gone out looking.
Let me open my notes.
It's like,
Because there was a few things, like, looking back at what I wrote, I'm like, oopsie poopsie, I forgot to say that. Here it is. I think the pretty much the call was always going to be like, and you guys passed the check, but if you guys, I think Skip is the one that passed the check of hearing the sirens call, pretty much.
Yep.
And yeah, pretty much. You guys would have always the plan was to go down there, but if you guys didn't, it was that thing was always coming. Like, but I don't know if somebody else would have gone down, but if they went down, it doesn't mean that they would have survived.
Sure.
So
It's more. I guess part of that is also if we had chosen not to go down or hadn't heard the call, would it have potentially just popped up somewhere completely different and been more of a threat to the entire town at that point?
Possibly. Yeah, it's I would have had, like, it's just kind of reworking where, like, if you guys didn't go down, it would have been where can the biggest effect be. And the other thing is, like, probably there'd be more people in the way.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't until you guys, like, went down and, like, more smoke was being noticed, and then Ashley being like, why, hello there. Yeah, in short, like, it was kind of getting everyone out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm even just trying to, like, think about, like, or just imagine what that would have been like. And obviously that's just imagining, like, something that didn't happen, but it sounds way more terrible than what we went through if we had missed it.
There'd probably be a lot more blood on the streets.
That would have been awful. More blood on the
you.
streets, yeah. What
You
happened
guys
to
probably would
Rose?
have gone insane.
What happened after? That's my question. What happened to the bus of the old people?
You never went back and looked.
Well, we're done with the chapter, so you can tell us now.
Yeah,
now.
but that part of the story may not be done.
Okay.
I'll say one person in this call, actually 2 people in this call knows what happens. So here, little
2 people? Does that mean I'm the only one that doesn't know?
I'm not a person?
Well, you know.
Well,
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I guess.
Me and one other
you
person.
and one other person.
Yes.
No, you're not a person in this equation because you know everything, Dave. So I just assume you know.
But no, I guess to give a little plug into there is, we will see Rose at the beginning of chapter 5.
Okay, so she at least lived. How many old people died?
I don't know.
He's gonna roll for the old people that died. That's terrible. 11? Oh my gosh.
Hold up, let me roll 2d10.
2d10?
56. 56.
Were there that many
on the
people in
bus.
the bus? Can a bus hold that many people?
Yeah, they were crammed in there like sardines.
That's like a quarter of the town, it feels like. We just killed off the
I don't know.
entire geriatric population of
It's okay.
Centralia.
This is what they call historical fiction,
Yeah.
where nothing is actually historical and everything is fiction.
Okay, so
There
here's a
probably aren't
question.
56 old people in all of Centralia.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Were there any points, Dave, where you adjusted what you were doing in order to, like, not murder us? Like, I think about, like, the different chase scenes. Like, I guess another way to ask it, like, were there near disastrous encounters? One is, like, part A to that question, then part B, like, did you, even as, like, a game master, like, adjust to make sure that we made it to the end?
Nope. I said, if you guys die, that's the end of the chapter. And so those rolls were real. So pretty much I let my hand show a little bit, but it's pretty much I rolled, and if it was 51 or higher, it was like it pretty much to keep the pressure on. it wouldn't be super successful, because monsters, if you ever look at a Call of Cthulhu stat block for a monster, they're like over 100, like for some of their stats, like for boss level characters. So it's like pretty much that's how I was gauging it. And then if it's like if I rolled single digits, it was gonna do the so the part when we hit the corner, like he charged and like hit the back of the corner when everybody was like in the back in a catatonic state, and like Caleb was having a hard time like keeping the wheel, and Ashley's like, "Brr!"
The dice are just like
rolled,
not working.
Yeah, I was rolling like single digits in there. And then it was like when you guys pulled all the way down the road, it got into like I rolled like 70s or 80s or something like that. So, but generally like it was all pretty close together. The only thing is like if you guys went too far and it didn't follow you, it was just either gonna go to St. Ignace or just start destroying the town. Like
Yeah.
But due to just how the rolls went and like what you guys were saying, you guys kept its attention.
Well, that definitely confirms one of my suspicions through that chase, is that we had to keep it close enough to keep its interest, to keep it chasing us, to avoid it running off and doing something else.
Yes.
And I was very much suspecting that was the case through the whole thing, but I was not going to just say, hey, we got to keep it close, guys, because we don't want it running off.
I think you did say that like at the very, very end, because you're like, I was...
Oh yeah, at the very end, it's
like, I was like, at that point, I'm like, you guys pissed it off enough. It's like, and I was also looking at the time, I'm like, there's no point in having this drag on for you to turn 2 corners and then explode.
Well, and it was kind of crazy how it went from in essentially a turn. I think it wasn't that long. I think it was 1 round. It went from like us being unable to get any distance from it to like Caleb being like 3 blocks away and turning a corner.
Yeah. Well, Caleb rolled really, really well.
Yeah, we had a couple of
that's
really
when everyone
big
started
assists.
eating either.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was the big assist that made that plus the dice finally being cooperative and not rolling in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the first 2 rolls after that corner were like in the 70s and 80s, and it's like, why is this truck not driving? Come on, truck, go!
I don't wanna. But yeah, and then like I rolled poorly, and that's how you guys got away, pretty much. And then I just thought it would be the most intense, and that's what we did. Well,
Yeah. I mean, it definitely was intense. I think there was a lot going on, a lot to be managing. So that was very fun to go through that whole thing. Mm-hmm. I know that I also really enjoyed the sequence of being down in the sewers and like finding the monster. I mean, I feel like I had an idea as a player once we got to the voice. I don't know how aware I was or expecting it to be like a red herring like when we started, but at least when we started crawling down, I feel like I had a good idea that these weren't kids. But I was not expecting the monster.
Your nightmare.
Yeah, no, I definitely wasn't. So
I think my favorite thing was like, I think it was at the end of that episode, like as I was like closing the episode as the Oxman, because we never named him. It appeared, and John's like, I knew it. I knew what it was. No, we had to go down to the smoke chamber because we're idiots. It was on the lines of that. Just like, he's like, this is what you don't do in horror movies, and I did it.
Yeah. Yeah, I very much
the,
enjoyed that.
I did like the makeshift Molotov from stuff found in the back of the truck.
From Caleb's piss Coke bottles.
That was a good one too. I enjoyed that.
I think I named that episode. What was it? Let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, it was bottle service.
Bottle service. That's amazing.
Whoops. I accidentally put, I uploaded the episodes at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and then the little thing is, Caleb's a pack rat. Oh well. Only 2 people downloaded it. I'll just fix that right
Yeah,
now.
swap them around.
Well, it's apparently I didn't save the right episode, or I didn't save it at the right time. So
Okay, so I am confused. When did Caleb get the rune put on him? So I knew when Skips happened. I knew obviously with Korez, but when you said that Caleb had his on his back, I couldn't remember when that actually happened.
In the tunnel, I
it is,
think.
yes, when you guys were, he was carrying you guys out, and he said that he went and swiped, and like,
That's right. Okay.
yeah, it was. I knew I didn't want to grab you then, but I also rolled really well.
Yeah.
And that's when the rune was placed.
Okay. Okay.
And it was like, honestly, I'm like, okay, well, I got one. This will make a very fun ending later. And then, I just was able to get everybody. And I'm like, man, this is fun.
Yeah.
The scrying having side effects was expected, but not quite expected in that particular manner.
I know. I really loved that you, as a game master, allowed, or as a keeper in this case, allowed that like totally insane use of scrying. That is in no way, shape, or form what scrying is, but that was so fun.
Well, the only reason why I thought about it being a possibility, and had kind of, I don't know if this is for sure if this is metagamed or not, but it was the scene with when you were scrying on Percy, and Theodore threw you out of Percy, out of that scry. So it's like, okay, clearly there's something about it that can potentially be sensed.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I think, didn't my scry for what's his face, Trilburn, didn't he see me too?
I don't remember
I don't
sure on
remember.
that one.
Okay. But yeah, no, I think that's a good
Children's
point.
weird. So, yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was, I'm sure there are like, rules Nazis who cringed at that whole thing, but I think that was just very fun.
Okay, you want to know something for the rules Nazis that would be cringing? That is completely made up. Your scrying ability is made up by me.
I know.
So if they have a problem with it, in fact, like in Chapter 5, like rune magic comes back, but it fits more in the rules of Call of Cthulhu.
So we
it's
made
like,
it better for our rules Nazis out there.
yeah. Well, I could care less.
I know you could.
if they're complaining about it, that means they're listening. And then, hey, welcome to the Insanity.
True.
Don't
Good
pay attention
point.
to any of the other games I've run because you'll be extremely pissed about the rules I mess up.
So if you find yourself upset with any of the rules that we're screwing up, don't forget to comment in the comment section. And while you're there, you might as well hit the thumbs up button and leave that like.
I will say though, like if there are rules that like we're missing, like I wouldn't mind knowing what they are.
Sure.
Because it's like, I don't know, like I've read the majority of the book. So it's like
his favorite way to find out is wait until he's streaming and then just spam his Twitch chat with all of the rules he got wrong and how he should have done.
Yep.
You should definitely not go spamming Twitch chat. Like, definitely don't hit follow while you're there, and
And tier 3 sub,
Yeah.
like there's no way.
don't use those
Follow-
Twitch Prime subs or anything like that.
Every corrected rule requires a gifted
500
sub.
bits. 500
Yeah.
bits
500
per
bits, yeah.
correction.
Don't find the hidden non-existent Patreon and sub there. One of these days it's gonna be real, and then I will all
Probably
these
forget
years
about
of me saying that joke of a non-existent Patreon.
And
will
then
bite me in the butt.
people will be listening in like a year when you have one, and we'll just be editing into the beginning. When you hear us talk about Patreon not being real, actually, here's the link. Go here now.
Yeah, that's a lot of episodes. That's like 56 episodes.
I
I'd
was
have
gonna say
to
it's not
edit.
happening. Okay.
How about John? Do you have any questions, John?
He's
I
not allowed to
don't think
talk
so.
today.
I've been trying to think, and I feel like it played out pretty straightforward. There really wasn't anything, from my perspective, that that I don't think I didn't ask in the moment. So I think I'm
Yeah, you
good
got to
this
see
time.
your old character.
A little bit, sort of.
Yeah, you know he's alive.
How does Skip
I'm
feel
so
about having
sad
his,
that I can't like scry anymore. I want to know, and I don't know Percy anymore,
Exactly.
so
I
I
mean,
can't even
that's the-
scry on him.
I mean,
That's the
isn't
bigger issue
scrying
there.
one of the rune things?
It
But I
is,
don't know
but
Percy.
she doesn't know Percy.
That's true.
So
I'm sure David has heard plenty of stories about Percy and can remind your new character
You
about
can,
that.
or you can
yeah,
just like
that would be a real fun scene right there.
you can be
My
like
mom-
a creepy person and just be like,
dad
I
always
want to
talked about
scry
this-
on random people, and then Dave will magically make you, happen to see a person.
My dad
My
always
parents'
talked about
mom
this.
had a crazy friend.
Yeah.
My dad always talked about this friend of Cora's, Percy.
He went missing a long time ago.
To be fair, Timmy wouldn't even know who he was.
No.
Probably.
Well, unless
not
Cora
not directly
talked
anyway.
about him. Because he was young. I mean, like, Cora
was,
made
like,
Percy watch him
2
one
years
time.
old.
Yeah, so he was, like,
Yeah.
real young. But, yeah. I also would have to take the scry. Okay. My dog is under my blanket right now. I would. Oh my gosh. I'm so distracted. I would also have to make our new character take the scrying rune, which I may or may not do. So, Dave,
We'll,
you
we'll
better
explain the rune stuff in the beginning.
find ways
the next
to
chapter.
bring Percy back. That is my expectation.
I hope to fail those expectations because that's my goal in life.
Oh, good.
Well, clearly he's doing something in his life with Theodore.
Yeah.
Is Theodore
You'll
coming
just-
back?
You'll just have to wait until season 3 to find out the Percy accounts.
Season 3? I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like 100.
Wow, we went that long.
We're still in season 1.
That means we went for like 70 years.
It feels
Yeah,
like we're
a
gonna
lot
be
of
here
fun.
for 70 years.
You know, if we keep this thing running for 70 years, that means we've done something right, or we're
That's
just we're
Crazy.
just persistent to stop.
Yeah.
That or it's the AI bots have taken over everything and it's just AI computer generated for other AIs. Anyway,
Okay, this is my question for all of our chapters. Is there anything that surprised you as the keeper, or anything that you wished could have happened that didn't?
I'm gonna look at the original notes.
Okay.
I wish one thing that never happened was me having to debate myself.
Nah, you wrote that. That's not even
know.
something we chose.
I know. Doesn't mean I don't have to
And
like
in
it.
hindsight, it was a terrible decision.
Yeah. Let's see. Stuff that may or may not have happened. I could say this, because it changed between concept to when we guys started playing. The pretty much the what is it? The moon ore, the stuff that Giuseppe had to like go into people's dreams.
Yeah.
That was something completely different.
We didn't really
Uh,
do anything with that.
No, yeah.
Yeah, well,
we found
Theodore
it-
took it.
Yeah, we found out about it, and before we really even got a chance to look at it at all or anything, Theodore took it. It's like,
Yeah.
you want
Uh-oh.
mine?
Yeah.
Well, on that,
Let's see.
was there any more of that ever found in the mines?
Not to your knowledge. If there more was found, it was never made known.
Did they ever do anything with that part of the mine that was originally found in, or did they like close it off?
I think by the time, like, because it was 10 years later or something like that, Yeah, it was like 8 years, and like it was found like pretty much Giuseppe found it close to the end of chapter 1.
Right. Okay.
And so that mine section should be closed. Actually, I think you guys were up in the mines, and one of the people did actually find it in chapter 1. Like, you guys did a spot hidden up there, and and somebody like saw it, but the mine was just being opened.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, Giuseppe was mining it.
Yeah.
And
we don't know where that is, right?
nah, you just know Theodore has it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Theodore's collecting a lot of weird things.
Perseus, moon ore.
Didn't he take something from Trilburn?
No, he just showed up and waved because Chilburn wanted him.
Oh, right. He just,
He's told
made
his
the
attention.
ultimate power move. Yeah. Power play.
Yeah, pretty much did the equivalent of a supernatural, flipped him off and left.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, like there's like small things that have changed. Like honestly, the ox creature was supposed to be showing up a little bit more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was supposed to be in chapter 1 as well.
Interesting.
But it didn't, at least in the rough draft.
Yeah.
And then different characters kind of filled that role because it wouldn't have made a ton of sense.
Okay.
So
I thought it was cool to have like that variation, right? Like it felt narratively like appropriate bookends, right? We started with that monstrous horror, ended with it. It was appropriately horrifying to have like the entire OG cast just burst into flames as like the camera zooms out. Like that was such a like perfect way of ending that. But then having the like variety of other strange creatures in Centralia felt like it really built out the fact that like something bigger is going on in this town, right? Like I think if it was just the Oxman who popped up now and then, like it might not have felt like there was this like depth of weirdness. But the fact that like he clearly was part of this the whole time, or like the items are part of this the whole time, the mask came back, right? Because isn't that what we gave Buster? Right, so the mask came back. It just felt like it did this like nice, 180 and closed everything up for that set of characters. So I thought that was very well done. That was very fun to like watch that all come together.
yeah, it worked out that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to think if I still want to know who was at the hospital. Because we ended Act 1, do I get to know that now?
No.
When?
Was
When
it
do I
Theodore?
get to know Dave?
At the end of the show.
At the end of the show. Okay, all
At the
you
end of
listeners.
season 1.
At the end of season 1, so when I'm 50.
Nah, we're going. I don't know. It's the last 2 chapters went by really quick.
Yeah, they did. Well, they're much more intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I warned the players. Chapter 5 is probably gonna be a little bit more of a slow burn.
That's fine. Everybody settle in. We're bringing out new characters. We got to do some character development and story building.
And drugs.
Maybe.
Woo!
It's the 70s, man.
2 characters that I assume have no direct ties to Centralia, and one that does have direct ties to Centralia, and all of the history that has been gone on so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, well then, let's see. David would have seen definitely chapter 4 and chapter 3. He probably heard about chapter 2 and 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the in the time between chapter 4 and 5, he would have gotten much more information about what had gone on before. But
Yeah.
his exposure to chapter 3 and 4 would have been somewhat limited, but especially chapter 3, because they were basically all rushed out of the church as soon as Trillborn exposed himself as.
You make him sound like he's a flasher. He's got the trench coat. He exposed himself. Nice. Yeah, and it's like I always went under the assumption that like only the people who were alive knew about the prologue, because it's such like a dark stain on like society. But it's like David might know about that because of, well, it literally showed up. So, but then again, Timmy might know a little bit because of just being with Charles.
Yeah.
So, there's a couple characters that know about the prologue that still are possibly running around.
But how much more fun for them to experience it on their own and have to figure this out without all of the knowledge and history of the before group.
Yeah, now you guys get to really metagame.
I know. I know.
Just start calling you J-Lo.
Don't know the reference, but
That's Josh's handle.
oh right.
Yeah, he's the most egregious metagamer.
It's the only reason why I don't want to do a Pathfinder adventure path with him.
Why do you keep offering it then?
I know, because I want to play, but it's like I really want to do this adventure path, but at the same time I'm like, I think I'm just gonna have a talk with him like, dude,
You
can't
cannot.
look it up. You can't look it up. Like if you know what it is, you can, but like you're ruining it. You're ruining things.
Yeah.
Even if you know what it is, it's you can't go looking things up. It takes away from the fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to look up art, okay, sure, whatever. The art is nice, but
No, he's not
the
looking up
stats.
art. He's
Oh,
looking
I
up
get
points.
that.
He's looking
I
up
get that.
abilities. He's looking up everything. So
But,
yeah,
like,
for
stats and
everyone that's
abilities,
here,
no.
everyone here, as I say multiple times, how Elizabeth is the metagamer. That's all true. But we have someone who's worse.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
Elizabeth Moore is a story
Metagamer. I am, yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah, that is true. I do not look up like actual game things unless we're like checking rules. Yeah. I may remember things in our story, but I'm not looking at monster stats. Although I don't know that I could in Cthulhu.
Well,
Yeah.
not in Pain Thulu anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Not sure that would work so well.
Not a defined monster table to review.
Not
Well,
sure
let me-
that I can
let me
find
check the
book.
Oxman in
Is,
a monster
Oxman in
table.
here?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Not sure that that's going.
Actually, the creatures that you fought in chapter 2 were repurposed actual creatures.
That makes sense. I can see that. Yeah.
They were actual monsters that I found, and I'm like, these fit.
Nice.
But like for some of the bigger creatures, it's like, where they're more. I treat boss like kind of big entity creatures like, and I think that's how you're supposed to treat. At least my interpretation of how you're supposed to treat like these like god level entities, where it's like you're not really supposed to fight them. You're just supposed to either escape or appease or distract them until like you have like
Yeah.
in this case it was like survive until the ritual.
Right.
I think that's
So-
fair. I mean, Cthulhu doesn't give you a lot of like reliable fight skills, right? Like even with like guns and firefighting, it's not super reliable. Your gun
You
can
can still go.
misfire. What?
Yeah, you can still try.
You can
but
try, but it's not. I mean, like other other roleplay games, right? RPGs, like if they're combat focused, they give you ways to actually like attack things. Cthulhu isn't super slated that way. It really is more about like
the investigation
and avoiding and
yeah. Well, usually Cthulhu is more about like the everyman type of characters that aren't necessarily trained in combat. It's just kind of your average person that got thrown into this messed up eldritch horror.
Yeah. While you try to keep the grip on reality. I will say, since I bought like Delta Green stuff, I keep getting like promos for their stuff, and it's like they had in like huge block text, and I'm like, oh man, I want to buy this and run people through it, but I don't think I can stream it with what they were saying, where it's just like, keepers, read the whole adventure before you run it. There is disturbing things that happen to children. Make sure everybody is okay with disturbing things happening to children
needs, like, a
before you run
warning.
it. And I'm like, wow, I want to run this now, but I don't think I can run it on Twitch.
Yeah.
So,
It's one of those things I've seen in various role-playing stuff is the what sort of torture do you consent to? What sort of things are available or off limits?
I mean, I think in general that's just good, table rules, right? To check in on like where everyone's at, what they're comfortable with, what they're not. But I think particularly for a horror-based RPG, because it can get real dark real fast. Definitely.
Yeah. So, but it's like this is the benefit of me knowing all you guys like for for Nite a couple years, well, even Elizabeth for a couple years, but like, well, John for way more than a couple years, but like having like that relationship built up where it's like and like knowing enough horror where it's like, okay, here's where I can push, here's what I need to pull back.
Yeah.
And so, but then again, it's like, if one of you guys like ain't game with what's going on, then it's like, say something and I'll make it worse. No.
I'll lean in real hard.
We won't go this direction, but we'll go this way real hard.
To be fair, like if I had other players playing, I don't know. I always just remember the only fade to black scene I had in any of my games when someone did a successful seduction check on an NPC, and to quote a song, yes, they got it on. So it was the end of the chapter or end of that session, and then no one was able to play again. So somewhere. Yeah, like
that was the end. That was the end.
Ended.
Oh my gosh.
That's just how that session ended, and was just everyone got really busy. But it's somewhere in American, on the East Atris coast. There's a boat going on where there's just an elephant and a human just shagging it up.
Nope.
Okay.
A loxodon.
Well, maybe it was a good idea that one didn't going.
Continue.
It's its own eldritch horror.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going past the point, and I think we all want to meet our new characters, so we're gonna call it here. So thank you, everybody. Thank you guys for listening, playing. Well, we didn't really play anything, but thank you for the questions that I may or may not have answered.
As always.
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe one of these days, if I think ahead, maybe at the end of the season, we'll just have to be like, if there's audience questions, if there's an audience.
All two of you, send in your questions now.
Yeah, I'm one of them. So Itisdpayne.
We just have to reach out to the people that we know are listening, right? Like I have to hit up my nephew and my brother and be like, hey, give us some questions so we can get some audience participation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they record it, we may or may not play it. But anyway, that is it. I don't know. We have at least 10 to, well, if it's anything like the first chapter, it's going to be like another 20 episodes. Anyway, that is it.
I said strap in.
Yeah. We got some learning to do. So, anyway, see you guys next episode next week. Until next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.